Hey, what's good, everybody? It's me, your hero, Benjamin Banks, and you're watching Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, and it is another brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer? You already know what time it is, and joining me today is a very talented cosplayer. Now, I know some of you guys are going to say that, you know, I interview a lot of cosplayers that do JoJo's Bizarre Adventure cosplays, but I mean, I love JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, and whenever it comes to cosplaying JoJo, and you already know that I'm a JoJo cosplayer, I'm going to bring any and every JoJo cosplayer up here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks, Who's That Cosplayer? And joining me today is cosplayer Lexicalnuisance. How are you doing today, Lexi?
I am doing fantastic. I am very honored and very excited to do this interview today. I have so many jitters. It's amazing.
Hey, well, it's going to be a fun time because that's what we do up here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. So before we get into today's interview, everybody that's watching, make sure that you like this video, you subscribe to the channel, and you hit that bell button so that way you're always notified when we have new content here on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. And as D always says, podcast link down below in the description. Like, follow, subscribe. So, let's go ahead and get into this interview. So, Lexi, the first thing that I wanted to say is because on your profile on Instagram, you are the CEO of Akira Otishi.
Oh,
and I just want to know, I mean, like I had did on my most recent interview, I usually like to wait until the end for the JoJo stuff, but, why are you the CEO?
So it's mostly because I have this... Ever since I saw Akira Toishi years ago, just watching JoJo, there's just something about him that I just fell in love with him. I literally did research on his origin of his character and where it who he's inspired by, because anything Araki does, it's inspired by literally everything. And then I literally started listening to Red Hot Chili Peppers more because of the anime, and I just fell in love with his character, but also too, even though he's on screen for 3 seconds, I always try to tell everyone why he's a great character and why I really like him a lot. And it's just he's just a good looking man. I just really like him a lot. I could go on and on about it, but I just I have done a lot of cosplays in the past with Akira. This version of Akira that I have right now is so much more different than the version of Akira when I first did him in 2019. I've done pastel Akira, I've done casual. I've even did a Red Hot Chili Pepper humanized cosplay.
Nice.
So
nice.
I think that's just part of the reason why I just claim myself to be the CEO of Akira Toishi, just because of my pure obsession with this man.
And I love that. And we're going to talk more about that when we get later into the interview. 2 things that I wanted to mention is that we interviewed Andrew Russell, who voices Akira and English dub of Part 4 JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. We interviewed him and his wife, Brenna Larson. So make sure that you check out that interview either on our podcast or here on YouTube. And then also, too, to piggyback off of something that you said, because you said that you looked into Akira's origin story. That is the first question that I always ask up here on Who's That Cosplayer or the podcast in general. So tell everybody who Lexi is. Every hero or villain, they have an origin story. So tell everybody who you are.
Ooh. So I am an upstate New York cosplayer. I started cosplay, I believe, I want to say 2014. I was really obsessed with YouTube and just I would be home all day, just watching YouTube videos of AMVs and different anime I was into, animes I wanted to watch because of AMVs. And then I saw something that people did. I was really into Vocaloid at the time. And I mean, I still am, but I was really into Vocaloid, and I saw these people do these cosplay music videos to certain songs. And I thought that was the coolest thing ever. And then from there, I delved more into convention scene, or people recording videos for conventions. I'm I want to do that. That's so much fun. And so I literally was went to my mom and my dad. I was please, can I go to a con? There's one near here. I can I will buy half the ticket. I really, really wanted to go. And they're yes, of course. And I just had a good time. And I didn't actually take cosplaying a little bit more seriously than I have until 2019. That was when I downloaded TikTok. I downloaded TikTok as a joke, at first, literally everyone else did. And then I just JoJo was just my hyperfixation at the time too. I just started watching it. Literally me and my friend were just like chilling in our dorm room. And then I had like my roommate who was like, we are going to watch JoJo right now. I've been meaning to have you guys watch it for a long time. It's on Netflix right now. And I just got hooked. And then ever since then, I just started getting more and more cosplays together. And it's been such a great journey because I've improved on my makeup a lot more, my wig styling skills. I know how to sew now, which is really cool and just a great essential life skill. But yeah, that's pretty much my origin story how I got here now.
Hey, first off, I love your origin story. Second off, I wouldn't call it a journey. I would call it a bizarre adventure.
Oh my God.
So look, because when I was driving to North Carolina to Fayetteville Comic-Con with my co-host Trav, you know, he had asked me, he was just like, so, you know, in One Piece, it's just like, you know, they're trying to get to the end of the series and, you know, like they're doing their thing. And Dragon Ball Z, it's just like they're trying to get to the, you know, fighting the villains and whatnot. He was just like, what is it in JoJo that they're trying to do? I was just like, man, they just trying to survive.
Too much.
They just want
too much.
Like, that's all they try to do. They just try to make it to the end of the adventure and survive. That's all that they're trying to do. But I really love your origin story. You know, similar to you, when it comes to JoJo's Bizarre Adventure, I already knew what it was, but it's like, and I had known about it for years, but I had never watched it. I remember the video game came out when I was a kid. And, you know, when I would see the characters, you know, I was one of those guys or not guys, but just fans where it's just like, well, which one is JoJo? It's like, I thought all of them were JoJo. And it's crazy because when it started coming on Adult Swim in 2012, I believe, it was either 2012, 2013, I remember I tried watching Phantom Blood. I watched the first 2 episodes, and back then I didn't have DVR, so it's just like, if you miss an episode, then you're shit out of luck, right? So it's just like, I saw that part, and then eventually it got to part 2, and I was just like, okay, so did the JoJo from part 1, and you know, I didn't know about any of the parts or anything.
Oh no.
I was just like, so like, how did the JoJo get younger? Like, what's going on here? And then eventually it got to part 3, and I was just like, so is this like Doctor Who, where it's just like he just keeps on coming back as a different person? And you know, in 2018, I was over at my friend's house, and you know, he was taking forever getting ready, so I put on Netflix. And I put on JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. I was able to watch 2 episodes while I was waiting on him. And I was just like, man, this is pretty good. And then I got home, and then I just started binging it. And then seeing Zeppeli and Robert E.O. Speedwagon. I was just like, man, like, why did I put this series off for so long? And I want to say by the time I started watching it, Golden Wind was coming to an end. So I was able to just binge all 5 parts like that, which was amazing. And
yeah, that's great timing.
It was great timing. And now I'm on part 6. I need to start reading the manga and all that stuff too. But you know, it's just cool that, you know, we have these animes that we watch, whether it's something that we watch growing up or something that we watch currently, and it inspires us to want to do more and pick up the cosplay hobby and whatnot. And I think it's awesome that you said that your parents, you know, you went to them, he's like, hey, I want to go to a convention, I want to have a good time. So now I want to ask you, when you went to that first convention, like, what was the experience like there? Did you like, did people come up to you and ask you about your cosplay and all that stuff? Like, what was the experience like?
So I was very starstruck because I was like, oh my God, Artist Alley, I'm going to buy whatever I want. Oh my God, there's this panel of like a Hetalia panel that I really want to go to. I want to go there when I was into that. And it was just a really good experience. I had a couple of costumes. My first ever costumes that I ever did, like going to conventions, it was Butterscotch from South Park in a Stick of Truth outfit. Nice. And then I did Cecil Baldwin from Welcome to Night Vale when I was still listening to it. Those were my first 2 ever costumes that I did. And for something fun for my Cecil costume, I wrote a sign. I was one of those people that brought a sign around, and it said something like, I'm missing my beautiful Carlos, because Carlos was like his love interest in the podcast. And so I brought that around, and like there was actually like a Carlos cosplayer there, and we
nice.
together and stuff.
Awesome.
Oh yeah, it was. It's always such like a nice experience too when like you are cosplaying from like a series like not a lot of people know about. Like because I think my second ever con I went to, it was Toricon, and I was dressed as Lady Palutena from Kid Icarus, and there was a Pit cosplayer there that was going too, and so we hung out the whole entire day, and people wanted pictures of us. It was just a great experience.
And I totally understand that. You know, when I go to cons, you know, I haven't worn my Deku cosplay in almost a year, and I just love being Jotaro because it's just so easy. All it is pants, a shirt, and a jacket.
Yeah.
That's it. You know, Jotaro is my comfort cosplay, and I love your Jotaro cosplay because you know I'm somewhat of a Jotaro cosplayer myself.
Nice.
But it's just always cool when you go to a con and you meet other cosplayers that you know are from the same series or even cosplaying as the same character, and then you form those bonds with those people. And I just always think that it's awesome, and it's cool that when you went to the con, you know, you went there in your costumes, you had a good time, and then you leveled up just like we always do up here on Leveling Up.
Oh yeah.
And you know, to piggyback off of something that you had said, you know, you got on the TikTok, you were looking at all the JoJo stuff, you were looking at the cosplay stuff, and you know, of course, 2020 happened, the pandemic happened and whatnot, and we all sat at home. And you know, I feel like cosplayers, they really jumped on TikTok because I feel like that was a really good outlet. I mean, of course you have Instagram, you can post photos and whatnot, but TikTok allowed you to, you know, connect with so many different cosplayers, and then eventually, you know, you could meet these cosplayers at the cons and whatnot. So I want to ask you now, because of the pandemic, like, what did you do to, you know, keep that cosplay fire alive? And since, you know, the world has kind of started going back to normal, have you been to any cons since then?
So for the first part of your question, I'm not really sure how to really describe my experience for TikTok in 2020. Cause like once it happened, I was like, I took every single chance I could to like get into cosplay. Right after I did my schoolwork, got into cosplay at night. Like literally any chance I get after dinner, cosplay. I really wanted to like show the characters that I was going to because before the pandemic, I was going to go to a con, but that obviously got canceled. So I was like, you know what? I'm going to show off my costumes on TikTok of what people didn't get to experience. And then from there, I just kept like looking around my house and like building up from cosplays that I've already had. And it's just been so much fun that way to like really connect with other people too, especially in the JoJo community. Especially when I cosplayed, because I cosplay Akira a lot, if that wasn't obvious already.
I see.
He is like, it's a lot to put on, but it is like with your Jotaro, it's my comfort cosplay. I love it. I feel like so alive in him. But when people start and be like, oh my God, I've never seen an Akira cosplayer ever. It just, that's like something that really keeps me going. Cause I'm like, what do you mean you've never seen another cosplayer before? It makes me feel like special, and it makes me feel really, really happy when people are like, I know you because of Akira and you cosplay him so well. And it just warms my heart. So that was like my main motivation to keep going. Cause I was cosplaying like these little side characters and people are like, oh my God, I remember that character. That's so cool. But as for conventions lately, I'm actually going to a con tomorrow, which is my first con I've been to in a couple of years. So I'm very excited about that.
That's awesome, man. And what con is that you're going to?
It's called Saratoga Comic-Con. It's pretty close to where I live.
Well, I hope that you have a fun time there. I can't wait to see the photos, the videos, and, you know, all the TikTok dances and all that stuff. But, you know, something that I wanted to piggyback off of what you had said was about you cosplaying as Akira. And to be honest with you, I really haven't seen a lot of Akira cosplay. So I think it's awesome that you have a cosplay that you do that people associate with you. It's the same thing like with me as Jotaro. Like, a lot of people are associating Jotaro with me because I just love cosplaying as part 4 Jotaro. And at the same time too, that one thing that a lot of people love about my Jotaro cosplay is the fact that it's the dolphin costume that he
during
the rat
the
episode. And you know, at the same time too, you really don't see a lot of Jotaro cosplayers from part 4. You usually just see the part 3 Jotaro cosplayers.
Oh yeah.
And you know, I feel like it's awesome that people associate that one with me. And at not NecnoCon, at Tidewater Comic Con that I'm supposed to be going to, I'm going to be cosplaying as part 6 Jotaro. And you really don't,
so cool.
Yeah, you really don't see a lot of part 6 Jotaros because honestly, the outfit, it grew. You know what I'm saying? At first, I was just like,
snake pants, right? It's those snake pants.
Yeah, I was just like, what is this? But then after a while, I was just like, you know what? That might be fun to cosplay it. And then to be like, you know, I'm probably one of the only ones that's doing. I'm sure other people are doing part 6, but it's just going to be an awesome experience once I finally debut that at a con. But you know, just getting back to, you know, cosplay and stuff like that. You've done so many amazing costumes that I've seen on your Instagram, and I just want to know, what are some of your favorites besides Akira? Because I know, like, straight to
so that's a good question, because now I really got to think about it. But I think a couple that come to mind right now are a couple of my more recent cosplays that I've done. Almond Cookie has been very fun to put together, and like, because I really recently gone to Cookie Run, and so I've been building more Cookie Run cosplays, and Almond Cookie is definitely one of my favorite costumes that I put together. It was just all stuff from the thrift store, and I just had to get a wig and then just style it, and then it was set, and it's very comfy. I also really love my Guzma cosplay a lot, because before Akira, there was Guzma. And I also had a really big obsession with him and Team Skull. Like, I literally have a Team Skull tattoo on my arm because I love Sun and Moon that much. But yeah, Guzma is also really fun to cosplay too at times, just because, like, if there's a Team Skull grunt at cons, when I did wear him, it was just so fun to get like the whole fam together and just like be a little bit of a menace at a con. It's always so much fun.
Hey, I know. Well, I don't know, because I haven't cosplayed as a villain yet, but you know, I want to cosplay as a villain one day, and the first villain that I am going to cosplay is going to be Dio. That's the first one, because I love Dio. I mean, but it's going to be part 3 Dio. I love part 1 Dio, but I
like his part 3 outfit better too.
Yeah, the outfit in part 1 is just but the part 3 one, like, yo, that's fire. I love that.
Oh yeah, that was one of my first JoJo cosplays that I did, was Dio, actually, in his part 3 outfit. It was just, it was great. It was him and Akira were my first 2 JoJo cosplays that I did.
That's awesome. And you know, something I want to piggyback off of what you had said was, you know, you had went to the thrift store to, you know, get everything that you needed for your cosplay. And that's one of the things that I love about cosplay, is because you can either order something online, you can get the fabrics and sew it together yourself, or you can just go to the thrift store and just put something together and then bam, it's yours. So I want to ask you, like, what is one of your favorite things to do, like, when it comes to making a choice on how you want to do a costume? Do you prefer going to the thrift store and just, you know, getting everything there, ordering it online, or buying the fabrics yourself and then just sewing everything from scratch? Scratch. I don't know. What is scratch? I don't know what scratch.
Who's that cosplayer?
It's Gentleman Cosplay.
I'm gonna stretch it anyway. So my favorite like way to cosplay is like thrifting, because that's how I started, and it just kind of proves that like you don't need to go on like not AliExpress, but like Easy Cosplay or any like on any of those sites to like get a costume, just because like I like the creative problem solving of going to the thrift store and finding stuff that are similar to like the thing that you want to do.
Yeah.
It's like you can easily upcycle it, find something in your house to make your costume. Like this for this whole costume, for example, this was actually a dress from Walmart that I cut in half and sewed back together, and then I put like the eyelets and all this other design on it and sewed the cuffs on it, and it was on clearance, and so that's how I made the jacket. The vest, it was actually like the first version of the vest was something I got from Goodwill. I got a tank top from Goodwill and put like some foam on it, and then I literally got like orange pants and an orange t-shirt I had to wear backwards because I didn't want this to be showing. So that was my first version of the costume. But I really like the thrift just because like I like those little problem solving elements of like how to get the costume together. Like my Bruno cosplay is fully thrifted. The only thing I made in that was the skirt because I couldn't find like a big enough skirt for myself. So I just figured I'll just sew my own pencil skirt, and it was the easiest thing I've sewn. So I love thrifting a lot. If I have advice to like new cosplayers, if you want to cosplay and you have like a character you want to cosplay, I highly suggest going thrifting and finding stuff in your house. You'll find gems that you never thought you would wear in your life, and then just like put it all together. It's honestly so much fun to do that.
I love that. And, to keep on the subject of the thrift store, I had just did a music video recently, and one of the guys, he left he didn't have wrestling. He didn't have a wrestling outfit. Mm-hmm. So I was just like, okay, well, we're doing this music video. You need to be flashy. Just go to the thrift store and just pick out like the wildest and the most colorful outfits that you can find there, and that'll be your wrestling outfit. Mm-hmm. And unfortunately, he didn't find anything too colorful, but he did find a shirt. But it's like, I agree with you so much on, you can go to the thrift store and you can literally find anything there. But I do want to say that you can't just go to one thrift store. Like you have to go to like 20 of them, and you'll eventually find what you're looking for. You can't give up, because like I've done it. I was putting a cosplay together for NecoCon, mm-hmm. and I was going to be Dexter from the Good Burger movie. And when I had saw the shirt that I needed online, they wanted $30 for it. So I went to like seven different thrift stores, and I found the shirt, and I only paid like $2 for it. You know what I'm saying? Wow. So I agree with you. It's just like, go to the thrift stores, go shopping there. And if you do want to purchase the costume online, that's fine too.
Yeah.
But I feel like the experience and the adventure, that is a bizarre one, it'll be totally worth
another
it.
Bizarre adventure, going to 20 thrift stores. Will be a stand user? We'll never know.
Oh, I mean, well, the thing is, the stand user that's there, they're gonna be like the most craziest looking person, like the craziest outfit.
They have to go to the thrift store if they want to find something crazy then,
and then you'd be like, hey, have you seen any stand users around here? I don't think I have.
Oh no, guys.
And it's like they know who you are, but they don't know, but you don't know who they are. But since we're talking about JoJo, I have a feeling I already know what your favorite part is. But tell me, what is your favorite part of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure?
Okay, plot twist. So I have two favorite parts.
Okay.
I have my favorite parts are part 1 and part 4. Yeah, yes. I know the other one was pretty obvious, but it's always so surprising when people are like, part 1? Why part 1? I just really like it because it's like, not only it's like the introductory to JoJo, but also too, it's like a short, fun adventure, and just for like something for people to like get the context of like the whole entire like show as a whole. And plus, like, I love Jonathan and I love Speedwagon with my whole heart and soul. I really do love them a lot. And also, like, besides Akira for part 4, I really like part 4 just because of like the murder mystery element to it.
Exactly.
And like, it's just like a nice calm down of like the first 3 parts. Mm-hmm. Just because, and plus 2, I really like the slice of life anime genre. Mm-hmm. And it's just something I like to relax and watch sometimes. So I really like that element of it too.
Yeah, no, I agree with you. Like, part 1 is probably my third favorite. Like, for me, it's part 4, part 3, and then part 1. But I love part 1 because, like you said, it's a short adventure. It introduces you to the characters. I don't understand why people don't like part 1. I guess because it's not as over the top. Oh yeah, because it's like the
stands are introduced. Yeah, it's like, but you have to wait and watch. Just watch it. Trust me.
Yeah, and you can't skip parts. Like, some people, they like to skip parts, and it's just like, no, you gotta start from part 1, and then you gotta work your way all the way up to like, anime at least part 6, and then if you read the manga, then you can get all the way up to part 8. But yeah, part 1 is really good. I love Dio on part 1. Like he was very dark. Part 2, like it had its dark elements, but in my opinion, when it got to part 3 is the Dragon Ball Z of JoJo's Bizarre Adventure. You know, Jotaro is the Goku. Like he's the most popular character out of all of the JoJos. And you know, I do love Jotaro, but I love part 4 Jotaro more because you know he's more rounded. And in part 4 compared to part 3, it's just I'm gonna kick your ass. You piss me off. I'm gonna punch you. I'm gonna punch you with this arm, with that, and it's just like I like part 3 Jotaro, but I feel like you appreciate the supporting characters more in part 3 than you do Jotaro, because Jotaro really doesn't have that much character development for real.
I've noticed. Yeah, I've noticed that. But also too, I've noticed that a lot when like watching part 3. It was like a lot more focused on the side characters than like the main JoJo, and you never really saw Jotaro that much. So he's either like doing something else or like getting himself in trouble. We don't see him till like a few scenes later.
Yeah, exactly. So now let me ask you, which JoJo is your favorite?
I love Jonathan. Jonathan is my favorite JoJo.
Okay. The gentleman. Okay, I like that.
The gentleman. Yes, I just really like his heart of gold, and like he wears his heart on his sleeve. He gives people chances, and he reminds me a little bit of me. Just a little bit, just because I am also one of those people that like wears my heart on my sleeve. Same. And I'm like a little bit, I'm selfless at times. I'll like make sacrifices in order to like keep others happy. And I just really like him a lot, just because like, but also too, he's like the most civil JoJo, which is nice. And it's just like something about him. It's like, I kind of want you to be my boyfriend, but Arita's right there, so I'm not going to take him away from you.
No, man, I agree with you. Like, he's the most pure-hearted JoJo. You know, he loved his wife, he loved his family, and even in the end, he loved his brother. Even though you know Dio wanted to take his body and cut his head off. Now, I want to ask you, which JoJo villain is your favorite?
It's a hard question, because like for me, I don't really have a favorite villain. I like them all, but like if I had to choose, oh my god, yeah, that's a good question. If I had to choose, I would have to choose Kira. Only because like I don't know, it's just like he was very interesting, and like I liked how he like kept his life a secret and stuff. And also in that part 2, we got to see a little bit more of him than we did with like other villains, because they were like, I want to destroy the JoJos because XYZ, and he has like this whole story. It's like, I just want a quiet life, but I'm also murdering on the side just to
No, I agree with you. And it's like they kind of tried to do that with Diavolo as well. It's like he was in the shadows this entire time. Then he had to come out because, you know, Trish was out in the public now, and he didn't want anybody to know his identity. But I feel like when he comes onto the scene, it's more rushed compared to Kira. It's like, you know, you have these villains of the week in part 4, and then it finally gets to the part where it's like, like there's these murders going on around town, but nobody knows what's going on. And then when we're finally introduced to Kira, and then when he kills your boy, I don't know how to say his name. Is it Shuigechi? I think.
Shigechi,
Shigechi. There we go. Thank you. When he killed him, like that is one of the most tragic scenes, because those girls see him and they're just like, it's just some kid. And then when he sees Josuke and Okuyasu, and Kira's just in the window, and he's just like, it's too late. Snaps the fingers.
That. At first, I was like, Sagechi's such an annoying kid. And then, my second rewatch in it, I was like, okay, I actually feel really, really bad for him. He did not deserve that at all.
Yeah, it was sad. And then when Raimi, when she sees his spirit just floating, I was just like, dang, man.
Yeah. And I was like, this is getting real now.
Well, honestly, like on the first episode, when I'm mad, I can't remember his name, and I watched part 4 so much. The guy that escaped prison. What was his name again?
Angelo.
Angelo, thank you. When he escaped prison, and like when they were showing his backstory, I was like, at first, like you watch part 4, and you're just like, oh, this seems a little bit more lighthearted than the other parts, and it's just like, dang, Angelo did this, he did that, he did this, and then you know what he does to the girl at that, at the start of the episode, and then he takes over the boyfriends. I'm just like, Jesus Christ.
Oh yeah,
this isn't as lighthearted as I thought it was going to be, but no, but I agree with you, man. Like part 4, part 1, like those ones are gold, and then you know the other parts, they're just like, okay, yeah, I like them. You know, I'll put them on, but they're good. They're good for what they are. But you know, to piggyback off of what we were talking about earlier at the start of the interview, when you were talking about Akira, you know, I just love that. You know, when I see him as a character, and like how you said, Araki, he draws inspirations from, you know, different artists, musical artists and whatnot. Like we can clearly see with Josuke that he was based off of Prince. He has Prince's mannerisms and whatnot. But you know, when I look at Akira, I've never done my research on him, but I know you have. When I see Akira, I think of Jimi Hendrix. Now, is that who he's based off of, or is
no? Actually, so he is actually based off of a Japanese rock star. His name is Kenji Otosuki, and he was, I believe, he was popular in the '90s. Him and Araki actually met before, and they did a magazine interview where they both had like an interest in horror movies, so they talked about that. And so I believe, I don't want to like say because of that interview, but from them meeting and stuff, and I believe he was still developing part 4, like, you know, just as like everything was going on. He put like his inspiration into like Akira pretty much. Like the scar, for example, the reason why the scar is there is because Kenji Otosuki's his like signature look is this scar in particular. So that's why he did that. Which I found very interesting. I found out from a YouTube video, but then I was like, let me look at the Wikipedia. Oh my gosh, this is so cool. And also another fun fact, I found his Instagram and, you know, I followed it. I liked a few things. And then he liked stuff on my Instagram with my Akira cosplay. And I freaked out. I was like, oh my God, he knows who I am.
That's always a fun feeling, man.
Oh yeah.
Like that's awesome. And, you know, I mean, it's just like, you know, because growing up, like I was huge into Dragon Ball, and you know, any information I could find on like characters and stuff. Of course, you know, Akira Toriyama, he based Jackie Chan off of Jackie Chan because he was a huge Jackie Chan fan.
Yeah.
And, you know, like that's the reason why, you know, you have so much martial arts and stuff in that, because, you know, he actually met Jackie Chan. So I just love that. God. You know, Araki, you know, he met the artist, and it's just like, you know what, I'm gonna base this character off of him. And that's one of the things that I love about JoJo. I like going all the way back to part 1 when I was first watching it, and they was like Tom Petty and I was just like, oh, okay, I get that reference. And
I was like, I've heard my parents listen to them before. That sounds familiar.
Exactly. You know what I'm saying? Like saying these names and stuff. And you know, I just love even going to part 5 with Trish and her staying Spice Girl.
Yes.
You know, it's like I love all of that. So now I want to ask you, what are some of your hobbies that you're into when you're not cosplaying?
So I really like to draw, even though like drawing is more of like my job, but like besides like stuff I have to do for a job, I really just like drawing a lot. I've been doing like some crafting stuff. So like stuff besides like any of the digital art that I do, I try to make like my own shaker charms. I do like Cricut projects sometimes, but I'm always like in a creative mood whenever I'm not cosplaying.
Yeah, and I think that's awesome because I mean, just going back to, you know, going to the thrift stores and, you know, learning how to sew and everything, like it's all a creative process. And I just think that it's awesome that, you know, you have so many tools in your box that pretty much it's just like you can do whatever. You're like a video game character.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? So I think that that's really cool, man. And, you know, my final question that I have for you is, who do you say is the most overrated anime character of all time?
Ooh. That's a good question. Oh God. This is the first character that popped in my head. I'm like, I'm so over Goku.
Hey, yeah.
I know. I see all your stuff in the back. I'm like, oh my God. I'm just like, that's just my opinion though. Just because, I mean, like, I know it's like a little biased just because like I never watched Dragon Ball Z, but everyone is like, this X character is stronger than Goku. And I've seen it kind of debunked so many times.
Yeah.
So it's just like, oh man. I'm not sure.
And you're not the first person to say that. Like I've, asked that question and people will say, yeah, Goku. And sometimes I'll hear Luffy. But yeah, no, I feel like like you said, you always hear so much stuff about Goku. It's just like, I mean, was he really that strong? And I kind of feel like sometimes, most anime fans can be toxic, you know what I'm saying? Not everybody, you know what I'm saying? But I feel like the most toxic fans are Dragon Ball Z fans, because it's like they think that they know everything, they think that they're right about everything, and I'm just like there was an argument in my Dragon Ball Z group on Facebook where somebody was cosplaying as Bulma in her bunny outfit from Dragon Ball, and the guy was trying to say, well, Bulma, like, I don't understand why this cosplayer chose this costume. Bulma has so many more outfits to wear, and I was just like, have you ever seen this outfit before? And it was like, no. I was like, so you never watched Dragon Ball? And that's the joke that you hear a lot of times where it's like, they never watch Dragon Ball. They only watch Dragon Ball Z and Dragon Ball Super. It's just like, it's just like that. Like she wore that in several episodes in Dragon Ball. So it's weird. But Dragon Ball Z fans can be the most toxic fan base of all time. Yeah,
I've kind of had a similar experience, but I just feel like anime fans on Facebook are very toxic. I joined a JoJo group a while ago and I posted my Lisa cosplay and I got bombarded with a bunch of fat phobic comments saying I was too big to cosplay the character, and it was an awful experience. But the mods got wind of it and they're like, hey, we have a rule on here is to not be an a-hole, and you guys are being a-hole to this cosplayer, is just having fun, so don't do that. But I was glad they had my back, and I was like, why? I'm literally I'm just having fun here.
And that's what cosplay is. It's all about having fun. And I hate that, when you post something in a group and you love this anime so much, and it's just like you have these people, and like I tell people all the time, anybody that is commenting on your stuff and they don't have a profile picture of themselves, it's an anime character, their opinions don't matter. Oh yeah, like, absolutely not. It's like because you can literally go on their profile and they don't have any pictures of themselves. So it's just like, how are you going to come at me for having fun and cosplaying somebody that I'm a huge fan of, that I love? This is my favorite character, and you're just like, oh, you shouldn't be doing that. And I'm thankful, and knock on wood, nobody has said anything about my weight when it's come to cosplaying characters. But for Jotaro, I have got, Jotaro's not black, and usually I just ignore those people. It's just like I said,
still just like, whatever. Like
like somebody said that it was cultural appropriation that I was cosplaying as Jotaro, and then I went on this person's page. I just blocked them. I just blocked. And the crazy thing is,
that should happen. Just block them. That's
just block them. You know what I'm saying? Just snap your fingers like Thanos and erase them from your life, because you don't need to give trolls your energy. So with that being said, Lexi, thank you so much for joining me up here on a brand new episode of Who's That Cosplayer. You are awesome. And I just want you to let everybody in social media land know where they can find you at.
All right, so Lexicalnuisance on all social media sites, including Instagram and TikTok. I also have an art page. It's Lexi G Designs. I believe there's an underscore with the Instagram, and then there's a dot with the TikTok, like right after the Lexi G. But yeah, that's where you can find me. Thank you so much for having me.
You're welcome, man. And I'm glad that you had a fun time. Just like I said at the start of this interview, y'all know where y'all can find me, your hero Benjamin Banks at KingBenji_Banks on Twitter and Instagram. You can find me on Facebook at Benjamin Banks. There's Red Hot Chili Pepper. And If I'm not the first person that comes up on Facebook, I need to contact Mr. Zuckerberg. Thank you, everybody, for watching this interview. Make sure you check out some more of our interviews that we have here on the channel, along with reaction videos and reviews. Make sure that you check out our podcast. The link is down below in the description, where we have brand new episodes every Tuesday. And then the video of that episode is up here on YouTube on Friday. With that being said, keep that pinky up. Stay positive. See you later, Red Hot Chili Pepper. See you later, Lexi. See you later, everybody. We'll see you next time on Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Peace.
Thanks again, everybody, for watching another episode of Leveling Up with Benjamin Banks. Make sure you like, follow, subscribe to the channel. Podcast, we got that too. Make sure you give us a thumbs up and hit that bell for further episodes and notifications. Thanks a lot to our patrons. And if you don't mind, join the Patreon. We'll be having new specials coming up soon.